الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. So inshallah we will be taking today Juzz 16, which is the remaining part of Surah Al-Kahf, and then Surah Maryam and Taha. However, Surah Bani Israel, there is a very important aspect of Surah Bani Israel that I didn't mention. I mentioned, but I didn't cover properly yesterday. And I think that it is very important that we cover the aspect today before we proceed, inshallah. So Surah Bani Israel, sorry, I haven't shared the screen yet, have I? Let me share the screen with you first. Surah Bani Israel, let me just share the screen with you so you can see what I'm saying. Okay, so Surah Bani Israel, as we mentioned yesterday, again we are in the third group of surahs, the group about haqq and batil, to motivate us that the haqq always prevails over the batil. So Surah Bani Israel and Surah Al-Kahf, they are a pair of surahs. Yeah, Surah Bani Israel starts with Subhan, and which is Tasbih, and Surah Al-Kahf starts with Alhamd, which is all praise and thanks. And these two are the words, the kalimat, the supplications which state the nature of Allah Ta'ala comprehensively. Yes, Subhanallah means that Allah, He is far removed from any imperfection or any association with any need. He is perfect. Tasbih, He is high above, at His level. And Alhamd means, so Tasbih is a negation. You must understand this this subject, very important. Yeah, Tasbih and Tahmid. Tasbih. Okay. Tasbih is a negation of all association with Allah or any weakness of Allah. Okay, a negation of all weakness, need. Tasbih. And Alhamd, which is Tahmid, yes, Alhamd means all praise and all thanks, which is the opposite of negation, affirmation, yes. Is an assertion and affirmation. An assertion and affirmation of all perfection is for Allah alone, full stop, period. Yes, perfection. Okay. You see this, how this beautifully, completely, comprehensively tells a person very simply. Yes, Allah Ta'ala made everything simple for us. That tasbih and tahmid, to say subhanallah and alhamdulillah. And this naturally leads to Allahu Akbar, doesn't it? Yeah? When He is free from any need and He is all perfect, then that means He is greatest. He's the greatest. Allahu Akbar, subhanallah. And this is what we say every salah. After every salah, we say 33 times. Before we sleep, 33 times. Huh? It's very important. This is probably why the Prophet ﷺ, he taught this to Fatima radiallahu anha. So tasbih is in Surah Al-Isra, starts with that, and Surah Al-Kahf starts with Alhamd. Now, the part that I want to focus on, and I don't really mind, to be honest, if it takes quite a lot of time, yeah, it's worth it, inshallah. Yeah, we are not here to just finish things. Yeah, we are here to, inshallah, hopefully build something, inshallah. Surah Bani Israel, the aspect I want to focus on is from the diagram, is this section on the basic principles of an Islamic system, an Islamic state, an Islamic community, the nation, yeah? This is very important. Yes, remember yesterday we talked about istifzaz, istifzaz, istifzaz. I want you to know this word properly, yeah? We must understand this word properly, istifzaz. I mentioned it yesterday. To uproot, yes? To remove. And I mentioned that the istifzaz of our current climate is not of a physical apparent persecution, it is slow poisoning of the roots. Yes, the slow poisoning of roots to uproot the plant. So it's just like a person comes to a plant, and just imagine now, yeah, a plant, this person says to the plant, you're such a nice plant, yeah, you have such nice leaves, such nice flowers, you will bear such nice fruits, you're so nice. Yes, so let me clean you, let me wash you, but underneath the person is pouring poison into the roots. Istifzaz. Okay, this is what we are currently facing. This is what we are facing. This is what's happening to us, every human being. We are faced with this istifzaz from Iblis and his agents. So this is the uprooting of a community, yeah, of a person, of a society. What we're going to look at now is what are the strong roots of a community and society. Yeah, strong roots, foundations, strong. This is in ayat 23 to 39. 23 to 39, yeah? You need to make a list of these things today, yeah? Please, brothers and sisters. Okay? If we have the vision, I'm sure we have the vision now of Quran. Now, if this was hopefully more interactive in that everybody was here, then we would have asked each other, what is the vision given in Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah? So what's the vision given? Shahada al-nas, good. Yes, if we have that vision, then we should be serious about this foundation. The foundation, the strong foundation of a Muslim society, community, yeah? Strong foundations. This has been given in this section. Yes? So, let's go to the Quran, Surah Bani Israel, 23 ayahs, 23 to 39. Yeah. Okay. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّهُ. Number one foundation of this is worship Allah alone. Allah alone to be worshipped. Alone to be worshipped. Yes? Okay. Number two. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Parents. The rights of parents. Okay. Allah's right, then parents' rights. إِمَّا يَبْلُغَنَّ عِنْدَكَ الْكِبْرَ أَحَدُهُمَا أَوْ كِلَاهُمَا فَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ وَلَا تَنْهَرْهُمَا وَقُلْ لَهُمَا قَوْلًا كَرِيمًا. In their old age, do not say even uff to them. Do not rebuke them. Do not say anything but nice. وَاخْفِضْ لَهُمَا جَنَاحَ الذُّلِّ مِنَ الرَّحْمَةِ. And then lower your wings of submission, meaning be humble in front of them, and make dua. رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا. Parents, yes. This is, you hear this fancy words. I would like, people in the application, they write this, yeah? Interesting, especially that UCAS and stuff. I would like to give back to my community, yeah? Yes, you heard this? I would like to give back to society, yes? This is giving back to society, parents. Looking after them when they need it. Just like they looked after you when you were in need of them. But look at the injustice that this modern society is teaching us, that you ship all the old people into the old homes. You ship them and you neglect them and forget about them. And you give them a slow poisoning death. Yes? And we know the abuse that takes place in home care homes. All abuse happening there to the older people who can't defend themselves. This is the right of the parents that nobody is marching for. Nobody marches for parents' rights. Do you hear about this ever? Every other right that has no right is marching for rights, except for the right that needs to be marched for. Yes, this is istifzaz. Destroy a community by neglecting the most important aspect, Allah, and then parents. Okay, we move on. I'm going to skip some ayat. Ati zal qurba haqqahu. Then close relatives. Relatives. After parents, relatives. Of course, husband and wife, children, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, etc. Yes, relatives. They have rights. And then after that, because Allah Ta'ala says, وَآتِ ذَا الْقُرْبَى حَقَّهُ 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 حَقَّهُ. When we do good to our relatives, we are giving them their right. We're not doing any favor, yeah? حَقَّهُ. And then after that, وَالْمِسْكِينَ وَابْنِ السَّبِيلِ. Miskin, needy, and the traveler. Okay? They have rights. These people have rights. حَقَّهُ. Give them their rights. The miskin has the right to be given something if you can afford to give. If you can't afford, what's the right of the miskin, the person who's in need? What's the right? The right is not to be abused or not to be rude to. Yes? No. What's the ayah in the last juz? وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ. If somebody asks you, don't rebuke them, don't be rude to them. And the traveler has the right to your hospitality for 3 days and 3 nights. The best you have in your house, you should give to the traveler who comes to visit. Okay. Next. وَلَا تُبَذِّرْ تَبْذِيرًا. Tabdhir. I'm going to write Z, but it's dhir, yeah? So it's not actually Z. Tabdhir. Tabdhir means that you spend on yourself things that you don't need on. Yes, you spend your money on things you don't need is tabdhir. So you have trainers and they're fine and they're good and they're well, but because the new trainers have come out, you saw the advert on the bus and now you're crazy. You say, I must have those trainers. This is tabdhir. Yes? When a society becomes this type of consumer, it then automatically takes away the right of those in need in society. You understand this? Okay? Because the philosophy of wealth in Islam is malullah. Al-mal, malullah. All wealth belongs to Allah. And He has told us in this surah who deserves what out of your wealth. Yes? Whatever we earn, we only have a right, to consume what we earn as much as we need it. Anything above that is not ours. Okay? This is the moral teaching of Islam. So tabdhir are the people who spend more than they need on themselves, and Allah, He has said they are like the brothers of shaitan, because shaitan, he also wants people to hate each other. When people want to fight with each other and cause enmity, because when people have more than they need, then the people who don't have even their basic needs, they start hating those people, yeah? This damages the fabric of any society. Yeah, the fabric of society. Okay, what's next? At the same time, do not be stingy. Yes. Number one, don't spend excessive beyond your need, and also don't be stingy that you don't even fulfill your needs. Yeah, that's wrong as well. So what a beautiful balance Allah Ta'ala He is giving us. Then لا تقتلوا أولادكم خشية إملاق. Do not kill. Yes, do not kill. Murder. Do not kill your children because you fear they will eat. Yes. SubhanAllah. It's amazing. Allah Musta'an. People fear, they calculate, if we have this many children, then how much we will have to spend and this and that. Absolutely, this is istifzaz. Istifzaz. I know I might get some questions about this today. Yeah? People who family planning istifzaz. To plan, I can only have 2 or 1 because otherwise I can't afford them. Astaghfirullah. Yes? What you forgot was this dunya, you forgot this dunya, you forgot the akhirah. The more righteous children you have, the better for your akhirah or not? Yes? Better, isn't it? The more righteous children you have, better for you. One of the things that will reach a person after he or she dies is the dua of a righteous child. Huh? But you only had 1 child, and may Allah protect us, that child wasn't righteous, then finished. You are deprived of it now, yeah? So we have to think of the akhirah. So, and Allah Ta'ala is saying that murder essentially is a great sin. And then, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا. لَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا. Do not approach. Yes, do not approach. Do not go near zina. I'm going to write this in red, yeah? So hopefully, no red here. Anyway, let's find the closest to red. Zina. Zina. Do not go near zina. Okay? You see this? Allah Ta'ala has said that this is zina. This is zina. Zina is illegal sex with anybody without nikah. Yes? Without nikah. Okay? So you cannot be with anybody without nikah. Allah Ta'ala says, don't go near it. Here's a barrier. I'll draw a barrier. Okay? Social distancing. Social distancing, yeah? Yes, good. We should learn this social distancing. Zina. Do not go near it. Yes? This is a force field, yeah? Inside here is a magnet. Magnet? Magnetic. We all have magnets in our hearts. And then we become magnetized and mesmerized. And then we fall in love, apparently. Yes? Allah Ta'ala is saying, La taqrabu. Beware of the danger of going too close. So for this, Allah Ta'ala gave us hijab. Yes? He gave us hijab. Okay? And the details of hijab are in Surah Nur, Surah Al-Ahzab. We should know them, inshallah. So, La taqrabu zina. Do not go near zina. This is obscenity and the worst evil way. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا نَفْسَ الَّتِي حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ إِلَّا بِالْحَقِّ. And then it talks about murder again, which is killing. And then it talks about do not go near the wealth of the orphans. Orphans. What number is it? 6? Number 6, 7, yeah? 7? 7? Anybody there? 7? Yeah. Orphans. Yeah, the rights of orphans. Allah Ta'ala is saying, keep the rights of the orphans. وَأَوْفُوا بِالْأَحَدِ. Contracts. Keep to your contract. You make any contract with anybody, whether it is verbal or written, or it is implied. There are implied contracts in society. When you live in a society, it is implied. There's an implied contract that you will not abuse somebody. Yeah? You will not harm somebody. Fulfill your contracts because they will be asked about. Okay. وَأَوْفُوا الْكَيْلَ إِذَا كِلْتُمْ وَزِنُوا بِالْقِسْطَاسِ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ. And be fair in your measure. In your measure, and when you weigh things, yeah, be just. Okay. Do not be unfair. وَلَا تَقْفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ إِنَّ السَّمْعَ وَالْبَصَرَ وَالْفُؤَادَ كُلُّ أُولَٰئِكَ كَانَ عَنْهُ مَسْئُولًا. Your faculties of hearing, sight, and the processing ability in your minds and your hearts. Fu'ad. Allah has given this for us to be able to come to the right decisions based on evidence. لا تقف ما ليس لك به علم means do not follow things without evidence. Do not follow without evidence, yes? Live an evidence-based life. Okay? Do not follow without proof, without haqq. So this gets rid of all types of superstitions. Every superstition, I can't walk under the ladder, bad luck. Can't open the umbrella inside, bad luck. You can't, black cat has walked in front of me, bad luck. All this superstition, no basis for any of this, yeah? لا تقف ما ليس لك به علم. And this also encourages us to research the phenomenon of Allah Ta'ala's creation, yes, in all our discoveries. So this is creating a society which is fact-based, yeah? Not superstitious. They don't just follow their forefathers. They question, is this correct or not, as Allah Ta'ala has said or not. وَلَا تَمْشِي فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَحًا. Do not be arrogant. No arrogance, because you are all creation of Allah. No arrogance. لا تمشي في الأرض مرحا. And then Allah Ta'ala mentions كل ذلك كان سيئه عند ربك مكروها. All these things Allah has mentioned, if we commit any of these or we do not fulfill the rights of any of these are evil in the sight of your Lord, detested, because these are all the rights of others. These are huququl ibad. After Allah's haqq of being worshipped, they are all the rights of others. Yes? So Allah Ta'ala, He has given us, these are the human rights. Yes? These are human rights. And the human rights will say today, you have the right to put your parents in the home. You have the right to keep your wealth and spend it as you want. You have the right to abortion. You have the right to sleep with whatever you like. You have the right to essentially do what you want. And this leads to arrogance. Okay? This leads to a feeling of I know better. Ana khayrun min. And then the person becomes aba wastakbara. Doesn't want to listen to anybody, says I know better than you. Who are you? This is Iblis. You see this? You see the istifzaz, yeah? So these are the foundations of a healthy moral society based on morals and ethics, which are objective morals and ethics revealed by Allah Azza wa Jal. So I thought it was important for us to know this istifzaz. So we should be working towards establishing these values. Yes, we should be working towards this. We should be married. Okay, brothers, sisters who are out there who are not married, you should be married. Okay, if you can be married, then don't delay your marriage. Marry, so that you can become parents. You can have relatives. Yeah, you can continue on your vision and mission as a team. Khair. Let's move on now. We have to move on to Surah Al-Kahf, which we took part of yesterday. Surah Al-Kahf is all about materialism. Yeah, materialism. The dunya. Know the reality of this dunya. Yeah, this dunya. You know, this is. It's not right to say dunya is evil either. Dunya is not evil. Yeah, dunya is your place where you're going to make your akhirah. Yeah, it's the opportunity and the place It's your workshop, if you like. It's your workshop where you're going to work, and then you will create your akhirah. This is the dunya. So the dunya is a blessing from Allah. But the danger is that the person becomes overindulgent and over engrossed in the dunya. So Allah Ta'ala has told us, as we mentioned yesterday, the whole dunya is an allurement, is beautification, zina. So beware of the zina, yeah? Take the zina as much as you need, enjoy it, there's nothing wrong, but do not become overindulgent at the cost of the akhirah. So believe that Allah Ta'ala is the creator of everything, the creator of life and death, and He has created this earth for this purpose. And my purpose on this earth is to do what? Is to do good deeds. Amalun salihun. Amal salih, yeah? Objective of us in this dunya is amal salih. So we mentioned that there are 4 stories in this surah, yeah? 4 stories. The first is the story of the people of the cave. Yeah, this is the test of one's iman. A group of people in the past, they were being persecuted for their belief in Tawheed, in the oneness of Allah, and therefore they were persecuted by the authorities, and then they sought refuge in a cave. Yeah, and it's really interesting. Yeah, cave is kahf. Yeah, okay, they went into a cave to seek refuge, and the Prophet ﷺ told us what to seek refuge against shaitan, the Juzz oppression is to read Surah Al-Kahf as if you go into a cave. Yeah, so you're protected. The first 10 ayat, Prophet ﷺ said, whoever memorizes these, this would be a protection from the Dajjal, the Masih al-Dajjal, the imposter, who will have the power to delude people by showing them something where in reality it is something else. Yes, so that's why the dunya can be like that. Yeah, it is something to look at, but the reality behind it is something different to that. So the first test is the test of iman, and when these believers stood up, Allah Ta'ala, He strengthened their hearts. Yeah, وَرَبَطْنَا عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ وَرَبَطْنَا عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ. That's the point I wanted to make for that section. The next section is the test of wealth. So we know that the 2 landowners, one of them was very rich, and one of them was much less well off. You can't distract me here. Okay. Yeah, you go and sit there better. Go and sit over there. So one person was very well off, yeah? So he had gardens, orchards, everything was at optimum, yeah? At optimum capacity and productivity. He would produce fruits, etc., etc. Everything was absolutely as if perfect, cannot be better, yeah? So this person now was deluded by this, yeah? Deluded. I'm going to keep saying this word, delusion and deluded, because this is dajjala, okay? Dajjala, to delude people. The person became deluded that this is it. I've made it. You heard this phrase, I've made it. When I hit my million, I've made it. When I do this, I've made it. And then the person thought this was it. And this person was further deluded that if there is a God and there is a hereafter, because he doubted it, he said to himself that there must be something good about me that God likes. So if there's a hereafter, then He liked me there as well. So he was further deluded. And he did takabbur. Yeah, takabbur. And he did even, we take some ayat from this. It's important to actually highlight the words mentioned in the actual ayah. He did shirk. Let's do this. Let's look at the ayat. Sorry, wrong surah. Surah Al-Kahf. So 35, let's go to 35. So this person, he is deluded, and وَدَخَلَ جَنَّتَهُ وَهُوَ ظَالِمٌ لِنَفْسِهِ. He wronged himself. Yes, he wronged himself. The self has the right to worship Allah and please and to say Alhamdulillah. Yeah, we mentioned Alhamdulillah, all praise and thanks to Allah. Anything that has happened which is good is due to Allah. We thank Allah first, then we thank others. وهو ظالم لنفسه قال ما أظن أن تبيد هذه أبدا وما أظن الساعة قائمة ولئن رددت إلى ربي لأجدن خيرا منها منقلبا, as I already explained. His friend, he told him, his sahib, his friend, he says, أكفرت بالذي خلقك من تراب ثم من نطفة ثم سواك رجلا. You are being ungrateful to Allah. Yeah, kufr here is ungrateful. You should have always have said, this is from Allah. Yeah, this is from Allah. Alhamdulillah. Allah is the one who gave me this. Allah gave me the ability, the resources, the time, etc. to be able to have all of this. You should have associated it with Allah, not with him, his own self. لَكِنَّهُ اللَّهُ رَبِّي. He said, Allah is the Rabb. He is the one who does everything. وَلَا أُشْرِكُ بِرَبِّي أَحَدًا. And you should have said, and the person is saying, I would not associate this with Allah, meaning that I would not think, now you understand this, yeah? This person is relying solely on matter, on materialism. He is solely relying on, I know the seasons, I know what grows, I know how to grow it, and I know how to get the optimum produce from that, and I've got everything in place, and it's working like clockwork. Everything is perfect. So the person relied on his knowing how to do things rather than on Allah. This is the shirk, yeah? This is shirk fi sabab. Shirk in reliance on the means rather than reliance on the creator of the means. And sometimes we can easily fall into this without realizing. Okay? So this is teaching us to be vigilant about this type of association with Allah. And his friend said, you should have said, MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. When you see all this, you should say, MashaAllah. So this teaches us whenever we see something good, we say, MashaAllah. And alhamdulillah, this is part of Muslim culture, isn't it? Anywhere you go in the world, yeah? Anywhere you go in the world, Muslim will say, MashaAllah, when he or she sees something good. Yeah? Alhamdulillah. And this is by Allah Ta'ala's leave. Because otherwise Allah may destroy it, and this is what happened. It was destroyed. All that he relied on was destroyed. And what did he say at the end? وَيَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي. And the one I want you to focus on, لَمْ أُشْرِكْ بِرَبِّي أَحَدًا. لَمْ أُشْرِكْ بِرَبِّي أَحَدًا. I wish I had not associated with my Lord anyone or any means. You see, this was the shirk. Yeah, he didn't believe in an idol, yes, etc. No, he didn't believe in Allah having a son or a daughter. No. It was the material reliance on material alone. Yes, and this is the problem with scientific mind. Yes, the scientific mind thinks just what you can prove exists, nothing else exists. Okay? And this actually is contradictory to science, because science is always finding new things. Khair. Moving on. So the two landowners have been mentioned, their test of having wealth and not having wealth. Then the very famous story of Musa and Khidr. Yeah, Musa alayhi salam, he travels with his assistant, his assistant. Yeah, and the other point I wanted to make, the people of the cave, they were fi'ah. Fi'ah means what? That's one. The other word was, they were young, very young, yeah? And the assistant of Musa alayhi salam, who was he? Yusha ibn Nun. He was a young man, yeah, young man. Okay, so this encourages young people to be strong, okay, and upright. So Yusha ibn Nun, he accompanies Musa alayhi salam. When Musa alayhi salam finds out there is somebody knowledgeable that Allah has blessed with knowledge, he made a journey and he prepared for the journey. This encourages us to travel for the deen, yeah, to travel to learn the knowledge of what Allah has revealed. Yeah, this is probably one of the best pursuits in your life that you can do. As the Prophet ﷺ said in the Sahih Hadith, that whoever takes a path to learn this knowledge of Allah Ta'ala's deen, Then the angels, they pray. The birds, they pray. The fish and the insects all pray for them. Subhanallah. This is the most, talabul ilm is the greatest favor that Allah Ta'ala can show a person. Talabul ilm. So Musa alayhi salam, he makes his journey, and then Khidr, he tells him, look, I have knowledge that you don't have, Allah has given me, and you will not be able to understand the whole context of the incidents that you're about to witness if you accompany me. So be prepared. Yes, you won't be able to resist to negate me, yeah, and criticize me. So the first thing that happens is that they both sit in a ship or a boat, and Khidr, he breaks part of the boat, he damages it. And Musa alayhi salam says, what is this, what have you done? He said, I told you. Yes. So Musa alayhi salam says, okay, I won't say anything. And then the second thing happens is that he kills a person, yeah, he kills his boy, young boy. Musa alayhi salam said, you killed a person. He said, I told you, you won't have sabr with me. And then the third thing that he does is that he goes and erects a wall which is about to fall. And these people of the township, they were very unpleasant and they were not welcoming. So Musa alayhi salam complains that, why did you do this for them when they were so horrible to us? And then after that, he explains the reality behind situations. Yeah? So this is very important. This solves a lot of the questions that people have in their mind, that why does this happen? Why does Allah let this happen? Why does Allah let that happen? Yeah, this is sufficient to calm us and to tell us why Allah does what He does. He does what He does with hikmah, yes? And there's a reason, but we don't know. So the reason for Him damaging the boat is because those sailors, they are righteous, and there is a despotic ruler, a king, that is going to, what's the English for ghasab karna? Seize. There's another word for it. Anyway, he captures or he seizes all these boats, but because this is damaged, he will leave it. Yeah. So that means these righteous people, boatsmen or these seamen, they will all be able to then continue with their business. Yeah. So this is a blessing, isn't it? This is a blessing. There's hikmah behind it. And the other one, because this child would have grown up to be a horrible child, would become disbeliever, and the righteous parent didn't deserve that. That's why Allah Ta'ala, He took that life and gave him another better son. Yes, so who knows? Yeah. And thirdly, the townspeople were horrible, but underneath that wall there was a treasure that was the property of two orphans whose parents were righteous. Yeah? They teach us a lot about being righteous, because the more righteous we are, the more Allah Ta'ala protects the children. Allah Ta'ala is telling us, if you're righteous, Allah will protect your children. So, and therefore, if the townspeople found out, they would have taken that wealth of the orphans, but Allah Ta'ala protected it. So see, 3 incidents, they tell us very simply, whatever you see is not exactly the whole picture. Yeah, it's not the whole picture. So therefore, the believer is satisfied with whatever Allah Ta'ala decides, because Allah knows better. Okay, very simple. Can you go and check that, please? Okay. The next, so that was a test of knowledge. Yeah, test of knowledge, to be humble. And the test of knowledge that you don't know, you are tested that you don't know, but you rely on Allah Ta'ala. Yeah, He has the hikmah, He knows. And then the last story is the story of Zulqarnain, the story of power and authority. Allah gave him power and authority and ability and might, and he used it for the best cause, which was to spread the deen of Allah. Okay, to spread the deen of Allah. He traveled far and beyond places that we can imagine, and he spread the deen of Allah with all his might and all his ability, and he was just. So authority is a test to see whether you will use it or you will abuse it. So it's a big test. Yeah, it's a big test. And he eventually comes to a people who ask him to to resurrect, or rather to build a dam, yes, between them and Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Ya'juj and Ma'juj, Gog and Magog, who are causing fasad. So Allah Ta'ala, He gives them the opportunity to ask Zulqarnain, and he happily does that, yes, to protect those people from Ya'juj and Ma'juj. But until a time, the surah says, until a time when Allah decides, then the wall would be penetrated, as the hadith says of the Prophet ﷺ, that every day Ya'juj and Ma'juj, they are digging, and then they come to the end of their dig, and they're about to come out, but then they say that, oh, we will continue tomorrow. But what do they forget to say? They don't say inshallah. So another message from this surah is always say inshallah. وَلَا تَقُولُوا لِمَا وَلَا تَقُولُوا what's the ayah? And do not say that I will do such and such. Was the ayah of Allah. وَلَا تَقُولُوا. See, so quick that I can't understand any word. Even one word I didn't understand what you said. وَلَا تَقُولَنَّ لِشَيْءٍ إِنِّي فَاعِلٌ ذَلِكَ غَدًا إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. Do not say that I will do anything but say inshallah. Yeah? So we must say inshallah. This needs to become our fabric. That we are always, this is dhikrullah. We are always remembering from the heart and the mind that everything and anything will only happen if Allah wills. Otherwise it cannot and it will not happen. And this also is a prayer. Inshallah means, oh Allah, only let it happen if it is good for me. Yeah. And then the last section is a rebuttal of materialism. Let's take these ayat. Yes, because this is the challenge of today. Yeah? Material worship. You only believe what you can see. Eh? Seeing is believing, they say. Seeing is believing. Okay? This is the shirk of today. We have to be careful about this. We should know about this. Allah Ta'ala is saying about these people who only believe in the dunya, قُلْ هَلْ نُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِالْأَخْسَرِينَ أَعْمَالًا. Shall I tell you about the people who are the worst in terms of their deeds? الَّذِينَ ضَلَّ سَعْيُهُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. These people, their strive and their struggle is only for this worldly life only. وَهُمْ يَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ يَحْسِنُونَ صُنْعًا. They think they are accomplishing great feats. أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ وَلِقَائِهِ. These people disbelieve in all these signs of Allah and the meeting. Therefore, because they don't believe in Allah and they don't believe in the hereafter, فَحَبِطَتْ أَعْمَالُهُمْ. Therefore, all their work will be null and void, as if it didn't exist. فَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَزْنًا. It will have no weight on the day of judgment because it has no ikhlas for Allah and it is no expectation for the hereafter. Just like the Prophet ﷺ said about the fasting person, مَنْ صَامَ Ramadan إِيمَانًا وَإِحْتِسَابًا. Imanan, believing in Allah. Ihtisaban, expecting reward in the hereafter from Allah. Two conditions, yeah? So this person has no belief in Allah, no belief in the hereafter. Therefore, they will get nothing in the hereafter. They will get what they want in the dunya. ذَلِكَ جَزَاؤُهُمْ جَهَنَّمْ. They will be given Jahannam بِمَا كَفَرُوا, because of their disbelief. وَاتَّخَذُوا آيَاتِ وَرُسُلِ هُزُوًا. And they took our messengers and our signs as a mockery. Yeah, they would say, oh, what are you talking about? What's wrong with you, man? Come on, get real. Yeah? We live in a scientific age. But on the contrary, who are the successful people? Who are the people who would be saved from this fitna of the dunya and be saved in the hereafter, who realize the reality of the dunya? إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. First they have iman. وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. This is the key of this surah, yeah? عَمَلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Did righteous deeds as Allah wants, as Allah prescribed. كَانَتْ لَهُمْ جَنَّاتُ الْفِرْدَوْسِ نُزُلًا. For them, there will be the gardens of paradise, remaining there forever. They will never desire for any transfer. They don't want to move. Yeah, you know, if you move into your new place, and then after a few years, you say something better, maybe, huh? Okay. Or you go into a hotel and you say maybe there's a better room. No, in Jannah, no such feeling. And then Allah Ta'ala mentions the fact that Allah Ta'ala, His creation is up to Him, whatever He creates, yeah, there is no exhausting the creation of Allah. And then the last ayah beautifully summarizes the whole deen. قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ. Say to them, I am just a human like you. However, yuha ilayya. But Allah, He inspires me through revelation, meaning I'm a messenger. And the message is, annama ilahukum ilahu wahid, that your Lord is only one Lord that you should worship. فَمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو لِقَاءَ رَبِّي. So whoever believes in the hereafter. So in this one ayah, Risala, Tawheed, Akhirah mentioned. For the people who believe in this, what should their life be? فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا. Therefore you must, فَلْيَعْمَلْ عَمَلًا صَالِحًا is amr. فَلْيَعْمَلْ is amr, is a command, yes? You must commit good deeds, you must do good deeds. And beware, وَلَا يُشْرِكْ بِعِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ أَحَدًا. And beware that you do not commit any shirk in any aspect of your life and your deeds for them to be wasted with Allah Ta'ala. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. So Surah Al-Kahf, beautiful surah that teaches us those things. Okay, we have to move on swiftly now. We have two surahs to look at, Surah Maryam and then Surah Taha. Surah Maryam and Taha, as you saw in Surah Al-Kahf, Allah Ta'ala mentioned in Surah Al-Kahf, yes, in the beginning, yeah, regarding the people who have taken قَالُوا اتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ وَلَدًا. قَالُوا اتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ وَلَدًا. Ayah 4. This Quran has been sent to warn the people who say that Allah has taken a son. Yes? Now the warning, where is the warning? The warning is now in Surah Maryam. It makes sense. Yeah? Allah Ta'ala mentions the people who say Allah took a son. Now the warning is in Surah Maryam, the Christians, yes? Okay, they will be addressed now. Surah Maryam. Surah Maryam revealed in the 5th year of Nabawi, before the Muslims went to Abyssinia, yes? And Jafar ibn Abi Talib, radiallahu anhu, the cousin of the Prophet ﷺ, he addressed the king Negus in his courtyard, and he recited a lot of the ayat from Surah Maryam to tell the people the stance of the believers regarding Isa and Maryam, salamun alayhima. Okay, what's emphasized in this surah, a few things have been mentioned, yeah, in this surah now. Wadhkur has been mentioned a lot in this surah, Wadhkur. Yes, Wadhkur means remind. And what do we remind people of? The three things we remind people of? Signs in creation, in ourself, and in history. Which one you think is mentioned in this surah? History. Wadhkur. Wadhkur meaning see the signs in history from the life of Zakaria, in the life of Maryam, the life of Isa, the life of Ibrahim, the life of Musa, Ismail, Idris, and the prophets and messengers. Yeah, learn a lesson from them. What's the lesson? The lesson is they all worshipped one Allah. The lesson is they all prayed to Allah. The lesson is they gave zakat. Yes, this has been mentioned in this surah a lot of times. And the other thing mentioned in this surah a lot is that Allah can create anything very easily. Yeah, He created you from nothing. He created you from nothing. He can create. He can give a son to Zakaria without any apparent ability of the father and mother now, because they're so old and they have never had children. Allah can create. Allah can therefore create Isa alayhi salam without a father. This is not anything that Allah Ta'ala has any problem with. Yeah, so Surah Maryam, let's look at the central theme of the surah. Abandon the Trinity and adopt Tawheed. Very simple, yeah? To invite the people who have associated partners with Allah in that He has a son, na'udhu billah. So the first section talks about Zakaria alayhi salam, who was very old. But Allah Ta'ala, He mentions to him in ayah 9, as I mentioned already, regarding him having a son. قَالَ كَذَلِكَ, this will happen. قَالَ رَبُّكَ هُوَ عَلَيَّ حَيٍّ. This is very easy for Allah. Yes. Why? Because وَقَدْ خَلَقْتُكَ مِنْ قَبْلُ وَلَمْ تَكُ شَيْئًا. He created you when you were nothing. You were nothing and He created you. He brought you into existence. You didn't exist. So for Allah, it is very easy and very simple. So Allah, He gives children to whom He wills. He does not need them. He does not need the means. Yeah, He has the absolute power. Then it goes on to the story of Maryam and Isa alayhi salam. And we know that the long story, I'm not going to go through it, but Maryam salamun alayha, she is in Ali Imran, Surah Ali Imran. You have to link it to Surah Ali Imran, yeah? Where Allah Ta'ala, He mentions that when she was born, then she was given to the service of Allah in Bayt al-Maqdis, and Zakaria, he took care of her. Yeah, he would be her guardian, wali. He took care of her and wakil. And she is in her chamber, she is worshipping Allah, and then Jibreel alayhi salam, he comes in the form of a young man, and she seeks refuge against him, and then he says that you will have a son, and then she, of course, she is confused, and then Allah Ta'ala, He tells her through Jibreel alayhi salam, again He says the same thing, قَالَ كَذَلِكَ قَالَ رَبُّكِ هُوَ عَلَيَّ حَيٍّ. This is easy for Allah, yeah, that He will do this. So He will create in your womb Isa alayhi salam without father. And then it mentions the miracle of Isa alayhi salam after he is born. Yes, that he speaks to the people in the cradle, Inni Abdullah. He says, the first thing he says is, I am Abdullah. He doesn't say Ibnullah. Yes, he says Abdullah. I'm the servant of Allah. Allah has given me the book. وَجَعَلَنِي نَبِيًّا. He made me prophet, and He has made me blessed, and He has told me to pray. There's a lot of emphasis in these two surahs, Surah Maryam and Surah Taha, on prayer and zakat. Because the Christians and Jews, they don't pray as we pray. They don't pray regularly. They've abandoned the prayer. As Allah Ta'ala, He prescribed, they abandoned it. And the zakat as an obligatory system, they have abandoned it. Yes, this is part of their kufr, a big part of their kufr. So Allah has mentioned this a lot in these surahs. And then it mentions that Allah Ta'ala He created me. Yes, He gave me birth, I will die, and then I will be resurrected. Yes, this is Isa ibn Maryam. This is the truth about him, but you are disputing about him. Until today, the Christians haven't decided about who is Jesus. Till today. Some say He's God, some say He's God and Son of God, some say He is this and that and the other. Okay, Allah Ta'ala is saying He is Abdullah. Simple as that. And then Allah Ta'ala says, مَا كَانَ لِلَّهِ أَن يَتَّخِذَ مِنْ وَلَدٍ Subhanah. It is not for Allah to take a son. He is pure and perfect. He doesn't need it. He is before that. He's beyond that. إِذَا قَضَى أَمْرًا فَإِنَّمَا يَقُولُ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونُ. He can create what He wants, when He wants. He just says, kun, be. And it is created. And Isa alayhi salam, his message was, Inna Allah Rabbi wa Rabbukum fa'buduhu. Allah is my Lord and your Lord, so worship Him. Yes, this is the straight path. But people, they differed after Him, and until they are differing, until they go back to Allah Ta'ala's guidance. So that's regarding the story of Isa and Maryam salamun alayha. And then Allah mentions, وَذْكُرْ فِي الْكِتَابِ Ibrahim. Yeah, meaning learn a lesson from Ibrahim alayhi salam. He said, La ta'budi shaitan. Do not follow shaitan. Do not worship shaitan means do not follow his footsteps. Meaning do not associate partner with Allah. And this is what the Christians are doing. They are going against Ibrahim alayhi salam's teachings. And then Musa alayhi salam has been mentioned here. And then Ismail, we'll take Ismail alayhi salam, ayahs 54 and 55. Because it mentions Salah again. It mentions Salah again. The importance of the Ummah praying. وَكَانَ يَأْمُرُ أَهْلَهُ بِالصَّلَاةِ وَالزَّكَاةِ. He ordered his people Salah and Zakat. Yes, this is the Ismail alayhi salam. And then mentions Idris alayhi salam. And then it mentions فَخَلَفَ مِن بَعْدِهِمْ خَلْفٌ. After these prophets, the people who came after them, they were bad. Yeah, khalf means bad. People who come after, but they are bad. Why? Ada'us salat. They abandoned the prayer. You see? There's no righteousness if the people don't pray. There's no righteousness. There's no pillar. وَاتَّبُوا shahawat, they follow their desires. Now they will sing and dance. They say this is our prayer. There's no sanction by Allah Ta'ala. But if they do tawbah, then of course Allah Ta'ala, He would forgive them. And then another strong ayah about salah. وَاسْتَبِرْ here. Anyway, I will skip that. And again, 67, Allah creates, أَوَلَا يَذْكُرُ الْإِنسَانُ إِنْ أَنَّا خَلَقْنَاهُ مِنْ قَبْلُ وَلَمْ يَكُ شَيْئًا. Again, He's reminding, I created you when you were nothing. So what's the big deal with me creating Isa alayhi salam? Yes, you're making a deal out of nothing. Shaitan, he is taking you around. And ayah 76 tells us, وَيَزِيدُ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ اهْتَدَوْا هُدًى. People who seek Allah's guidance and follow it, Allah guides them more. And وَالْبَاقِيَاتُ الصَّالِحَاتِ. What will remain forever are the good deeds. So this deen comes with belief and action. Christians have just belief, no action. They have no social law, no moral law. They have no legal system. There's no worship, nothing. It's just belief. No, Allah Ta'ala is saying what will remain is your salihat, your good deeds. So good deeds are important. And then in the end, very powerful section, Allah Ta'ala, He is very angry with this, subhanallah. It is a very powerful section in the Quran. وَقَالُوا اتَّخَذَ الرَّحْمَنُ وَلَدًا. They claim that Allah took a son. لَقَدْ جِئْتُمْ شَيْئًا إِدَّةً. What you have said is atrocious. It is unbearable. To the extent تَكَادُ السَّمَاوَاتُ يَتَفَطَّرْنَ مِنْهُ وَتَنْشَقُّ الْأَرْضُ وَتَخِرُّ الْجِبَالُ حَدًّا. To the extent that what you uttered just with your tongue, it is so atrocious that even the heavens are about to rupture. And the earth wants to split open. And the mountains, they want to collapse and break apart because of what you have said. أَنْ دَعَوْا لِلرَّحْمَنِ وَلَدًا. That they claim that Allah has a son. مَا يَنْبَغِي لِلرَّحْمَنِ أَنْ يَتَّخِذَ وَلَدًا. It does not befit Allah Ta'ala's majesty to have a son. He is not like creation. And you should know that everybody is an abd. Everybody is a servant of Allah. And they will all come to me. وَكُلُّهُمْ آتِيهِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ فَرْضًا. This is the relationship between Allah and the creation, the creator and the creation. Everybody will come to Allah on their own. So the people who do good deeds, Allah Ta'ala will show them affection. Yes, affection. If you want affection, because the people say God is love, Christians say God is love. If you want Allah's love, then you must believe and act according to His deen, not according to your shahwat. And then Allah Ta'ala is telling us that look around you, many people came and went. Do you hear anything about them except for just the stories now? So you will come and you will go. Your life is to do good deeds and not to be allured away and deluded away by shaitan and his agents. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.